Hey guys, your boy Sean Bellamy back with you with a brand new video here on my channel. For people that follow me, that subscribe to my channel, that watch my videos, you guys know that I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. But obviously I have other teams out through other leagues that I do like and I do follow. One of those teams is the Virginia Cavaliers, men's college basketball team. I wanted to do this real quick right after I got off work. The Virginia Cavaliers just lost, got upset in the first round, if you call it an upset, looking at this team's track record. The Virginia Cavaliers lost as a 4 seed. We were the 4 seed in the March Madness tournament. NCAA March Madness did begin today as far as the first round. We lost to number 13, Furman. Now, being a fan of Virginia, dude, has its ups and downs. Obviously, the tremendous up was that we won the championship, I believe, 4 years ago, after just 5 years ago to this day, we were the very first team and the only team ever in college basketball tournament history to lose to a 16th seed. I believe that 16th seed was UMBC, where we got our asses kicked like 74-54, I believe, to that team. Again, we were a number 1 seed and we lost to a 16th seed. That's never happened in college basketball tournament history, and it's never happened since because it's just not supposed to happen. But it happened to us. And the very next year, we went on to win the championship, which was amazing. After that monumental upset, we ended up turning around, making history, and being the only team ever as to lose to a 16th seed and then turn around and then win the championship, which was insane in itself. But being a fan of this team, I've been a fan of this team, the Virginia Cavaliers college basketball team, for a long time. Being a fan of them, though, it has its upside and its downside, but definitely the downside is how they play. I love the fact that they're a very defensive-minded team. I love the fact that, you could be another team going up against the Virginia Cavaliers, and if you average like 70, 77 points, whatever, you're probably going to only score 60 against us because the defense can lock you up. It don't matter who they have out there, but they can lock up on anybody. But the other side of the ball, the offensive side, is where it gets really frustrating watching Virginia play. I don't mind teams that take their time. I love up-tempo teams a lot. But the Virginia Cavaliers is anything but up-tempo. They're the complete opposite. They're the slowest team as far as possession and stuff like that. They won't take a shot to literally maybe 3-4 seconds on the clock in a possession. It's how they've won their championship years back. It's how that Tony Bennett, our head coach, Virginia's head coach, Tony Bennett, has this team's style of play on offense since he's been there. He literally tells them to hold the ball, and it's cuts and stuff like that. It's not like players just stand around, don't do nothing for the 20 seconds. But come tournament time, what I'm trying to say is, come tournament time, Virginia gets exposed very fast. At least, I'm not saying always result in losses, but when you watch them in tournament time against these other teams like a Furman or these other mid-major small teams that like to run and stuff like that, Virginia gets exposed pretty fast with their slow tempo offense, because when they're not making buckets and that slow tempo is not working to, executing to points, they have this thing where it becomes what in basketball terms, a scoring drought. The drought is that they'll go on 4 to 5 minutes of not scoring a single bucket while playing that slow tempo offense, while the other team could be down 10, 12 points and start going on a run while Virginia's on this drought. And as a fan, I still love them, not changing teams they did, but as a fan, I get so frustrated watching this because Tony Bennett is so stuck on this style that he doesn't adapt. There was a moment in the game against Furman today, the 13th seed Furman against us, where we were up, I think, 12, 42-30 after a timeout break in the second half. Furman came out with a 1-3-1 zone. They've never played that the entire game up to this point. They played that zone. And immediately once they played that 1-3-1 zone, the Virginia Cavaliers team just looked like, I don't know, someone took their basketball. They were so confused. They were so stale. They just did not know what to do. And in that situation, an experienced head coach, a championship-winning head coach, and Tony Bennett, you have to come up with some type of some ability to adapt. You have to tell these dudes, listen, we got to either pick up the tempo, we got to find a way to get the ball around faster, because they literally stayed with that slow tempo offense. And it gave Furman all day to sit back in their zone, in their spots on the zone, in the 1-3-1, to sit there and just wait for Virginia to have to rush a shot with like 4 or 5 seconds. No pass was even clean. Even when they was getting movement, it was just frustrating to watch. We're out the freaking tournament, dude, after the first round. And I still think it comes down to the style of play. Defensively, I have nothing to criticize about. In the end, Furman just, made a really big shot at the end. We all see how that game ended. But overall, dude, Furman had no business winning this game. Virginia, this was Virginia's game to lose, man. I don't know, man. I could be over-exaggerating, but at some point, Virginia University, and I know they're never going to probably do this for a long, long time, because, again, Tony Bennett, the head coach, did bring them a championship with this style of play. At some point, dude, they got to look to move on from Tony Bennett, because I'm just so tired of a team being stuck in their ways. At some point, you have to adapt. The slow tempo, dude, works throughout the regular season here and there, but you even see it in the regular season where, again, they go on these scoring droughts of 5 to 6 minutes. You can't do that in the effing tournament against teams like Furman that like to run and can shoot the 3-ball. I just don't get it. I just don't get to not adapting and coming up with another plan besides sticking to that offense. Now, of course, there's going to be some people maybe in the comments or whatever that's going to argue what I'm saying, because, like I said, Virginia was up 12 at some point in the game. I think they was up 12 twice, actually, in the game, but I know they was up 12 for sure in the second half, I think like maybe 10 minutes ago. And before Furman went to that 1-3-1 defensive zone. They still had a chance to win this game, which brings me to the end of it. We were up 67-65. This is coming after Clark, our point guard, I think it's Kente. I'm just going to say Clark, because I'm sorry, I forgot to say his name, which I apologize. But Clark, our point guard, who's been there, seems like forever for Virginia. So he's very experienced. He's played with Tony Bennett. He's basically playing college ball for a good amount of time in his life. He's played it. It's 67-65. Furman just made both their free throws to make it 67-65. So there's like maybe 9 seconds left on the clock. All Virginia got to do is inbound the ball, take care of it, make your free throws, and then you can win the game. Furman also had no timeouts. Virginia had one. That's very important. For some reason, they inbound the ball to Clark. He's an 80% free throw shooter, but we didn't even get a chance, or 79% free throw shooter. We didn't get a chance really to see that, because after they inbounded the ball to Clark. Clark is, I think, like 5'1", maybe 4'8". I don't know. He's a small point guard, basically. Very small point guard. Immediately when he does that, Furman does the right thing by double teaming his ass and trapping him. All of a sudden, he goes into some weird panic mode. Again, we have one timeout, which I'm pretty sure Tony Bennett told him and the rest of the team. He decides to take the ball back. I'm talking like, go back, and instead of calling timeout, he decides to heave it like a Hail Mary to the other side of half court, where a Furman player is just sitting there like it's a cupcake about to fall into his lap, catches it, then throws it to his Furman teammate, and then the Furman player shoots a three and knocks down a three and wins the game 68-67. I don't know what the hell Clark was thinking. You would have think a guy that's played that many games in his college career would have known better than to try to throw a very poorly fundamental pass in that situation. Not understanding the situation. Also, the awareness to understand that you have one timeout. And if you go back and watch that play, what also frustrating the most was he had a teammate that was closer to him that was literally wide open. I don't know why he threw the damn ball, but he heaved it when he had a team right there. Now, people were saying because he's so small, maybe he didn't see the teammate, but that doesn't even make it any better. If you're saying because he's too small to see the teammate that was way closer to him than the guy half court, why would you throw it past half court not knowing where the other Furman players is at when you have two already on your back? I don't know, man. maybe I'm just frustrated, but I'm getting so tired. I'm getting so tired of this style of play. I just wish that they would mix it up. It kills us in the tournament so much, dude. Ever since that national championship game, I don't think we've won one tournament game since. Or we haven't been anywhere close to a championship, I would say. After that championship run we had, we haven't done it since. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I know what they're going to do. They're going to keep Tony Bennett around. There's tons of Virginia fans right now, not just me, so don't just come at me. There's plenty of them that are calling for Tony Bennett's job. A lot of people are saying, dude, this style of play is just not going to get it done. You do so well in the regular season, but when you get to the tournament where, just like NBA playoff time, whatever, the game starts to slow down a bit. And when you're not getting, when you're going on these scoring droughts, it really affects the game. You can get away with the regular season here and there, but when you're going up against teams that can score, you're going to literally get killed for it. And the other thing that killed them, has been killing them in February as well, is free throw shooting. The game would have been put out of reach if we would just made our free throws to put us up 2 possessions. They didn't do that. But that is it, you guys, man. This was, again, an episode of Jack of All Plays Quickie. My Virginia Cavaliers lost, and that is just a definition. I guess it just really just shows that March Madness is here, but this one stings, man. I'm out, you guys. Peace.